Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Garygametime on Twitch, and today I'm gonna be making a video on Marvel Rivals, a tier list video, because everybody likes the tier list. It's always pretty fun to do tier lists, and for the most part, we're gonna just kind of get to the meat and potatoes of the characters. Not gonna spend too much time on each individual character.
Well, we're waiting.
Nevertheless, if you do like this type of content, I have more videos coming down the road, probably just going to just different things in regards to the game, but just make sure you like, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into the video. Off the top of my head, the characters I know for sure who are easy S characters: Psylocke, easy S, Marvel tier, where Hela, easy S, Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and Mantis. These are top 5 easy S tier characters inside the game, mainly because of these two characters' ability to be able to do burst, these three, burst damage, and also too, Maintenance does get hits, critical hit damage from her headshots from her attacks. Doctor Strange is a solid pick, really good ult inside the game. And the one thing about Doctor Strange too, he is super cool, man. I've been seeing videos where he does like he open up the portal and then you can shoot Iron Man ultimate through it on a point, or if somebody does like the Punisher and just shoot through the portal, which is like super cool. I'm really looking forward to see like more characters get added to the game, or just the existing roster that we currently have, see what other ultimates combos that you can be done with Doctor Strange. But for the most part, Doctor Strange is solid, air mobility, great shield, hits pretty decently hard. Same thing with Mantis, she's able to get back into situations after she dies because she's one of the fastest characters in the game, which is really important because when your team, eventually gets taken out, being able to get back to the team or the team that's remaining to heal them, super good. Also, she does pretty good damage and can give a buff to the team to give extra damage to her teammates. Super strong stuff. Psylocke is a really good flanker. I seen Psylocke just shreds tanks, man. She's cool. She shreds tanks. Same thing with Hela, just does really good consistent damage. And the thing about Hela too, I'm kind of just going over, just the overview of some of those characters as I mentioned. Hela has the ability to hit pretty freaking hard. She is so hard, and it's a lot harder to heal burst damage compared to healing just like consistent damage. Cause she does consistent damage, but being able to have burst damage that does significant impact is harder to heal compared to like Scarlet, which I will put her down here because she doesn't do burst damage. In fact, I do think she's one of the characters that can use some adjustments in the near future. Wolverine, same reasons. Wolverine is he's a good character if you want to be able to kind of separate the tank or a strategist or a particular duelist on the opposing team, because he has that move that he just lunges forward, and because of that he can separate enemies from the team, which is good. Winter Soldier has a really good ult and it's hype as hell. The again, that just hype. Plus it just does really good damage, and if you take out an enemy with it, you don't necessarily even need to take them out with the first hit, because it puts like pretty much a status effect on the character once it hits, that once you take them out afterwards, it automatically gets your ult back, which is super dope. Next, Luna Snow, easy Marvel tier, great ultimate, makes your whole team invulnerable, gives your team back health and gives you damage. She has a similar sort of situation compared to Mantis, to where because her movement speed, she's able to get back with the group pretty fast, does pretty good damage, and does burst healing. Really good solid pick for support. I want to almost put Adam Warlock up here as well, but the thing is with Adam Warlock, I see his sort of drawback is that he isn't able to be the main tank, main support to heal. He kind of has to have a secondary. He has to be a secondary support strategist, while you have either a Mantis or Luna Snow. You can necessarily rely on him because his cooldown on his healing abilities are pretty, they're pretty slow. But I do want to kind of experiment more with the idea of having 3 tanks and 3 support. In that case, if I were to have like an Adam Warlock on the team, I feel like that would be really good because he can act as a good sort of like pseudo damage dealer because his damage and also too the resurrection is pretty good. I think Groot is really strong, especially when he has Jeff. Jeff is actually really good too. His ult is really useful for getting enemies off the point. Can heal really good. Compared to the healing that Mantis and Luna does, I do feel as though his healing isn't as much compared to those two. So that's why I kind of have him A. But same thing with Groot. He is a different sort of tank to where he doesn't have a traditional shield like say Doctor Strange where he can put up that shield. Groot, he has a wall, which is really good in his own way. But he becomes like a bullet sponge whenever he doesn't have the walls. His ult is pretty decent too. Like it's good. It can stop the team from advancing because it pretty much pulls the other opposing team in due to that C he drops, which is really good. However, again, this may be another video too to talk about what certain characters' team abilities that makes a character stronger. Like Jeff and Groot on the same team, that team up is really strong. Giving Jeff that added resistance, these two characters become a Marvel character together. But for the most part, without them being on the same team separately, you know, they become a little bit weaker. Next, another character, one of my favorite characters playing this game, Magic. Magic is super awesome, man. I think she's really cool. The other day, I actually watched a lore video on Magic because I was just kind of curious to know more of her backstory, which another reason why I like this game because it exposes characters I've never heard of, at least I personally never heard of before. But in terms of this her kit, she's really strong. She can almost act as a pseudo tank because whenever you do get a hit with Magic, it gives her armor, and her ability to be able to get in and out of the situation is really strong. Like the move where she dashes forward with the sword to pop somebody up, really good move. But you can also use it to get out of situations too. However, like I mentioned, the armor that you get from this is really good. So she becomes like a pseudo tank in a sense, which is why I think she has. I'm putting her A for right now, but I do think her alongside another character has very good potential. And that other character is Storm. Unfortunately, I will probably put her B for right now. I don't really see a lot of Storm players, but I do like her kit. I like the fact that she can speed up the team. And again, you know, there's going to be situations where a couple of your team members may get wiped, or maybe the whole team for whatever reason, because Jeff player did the ult, and we all been there before. You get sped out off the screen, or they just do the whole fucking Smash Brothers melee Kirby tactic. But for the most part with Storm, she can get you back into combat because of the speed boost. And then also too, she has an AoE damage field with the lightning, which is actually really useful in a lot of situations. It's just that with her, I think she's kind of slow. If they give her like a nice little movement buff, I think she'd be pretty much, you know, A. But her speed kind of slow, and in the air she's kind of slow too. Iron Man, I freaking despise this character, man. Iron Man just like, I like Iron Man as a character in the Marvel universe, but in this game, he just like a mosquito, man. He just all over the place. Like somebody just shoot this drone out the sky, bro. Like please get him out the sky. He just annoying, but he's good because his ult, but he gets counter pick a lot because his ultimate can be countered by Captain America's shield, which I'm gonna go ahead and place him up here real quick. But yeah, he gets counter picked by Captain America, Hawkeye, gets shit him out of the sky, even Black Widow, which I think is also one of the characters that could probably use some adjustments in the near future because she doesn't necessarily one shot, and her kit is like for the most part decent, but it's almost like why play her and you can play Hawkeye, which I believe is also, you know, I almost want to put him A, but in reality he's definitely S. It's so many times when I'm on a team to where either I have a Hawkeye on my team or the opposing team and I get headshotted, I'm just like, dude, this character is fucking crazy. In fact, I do want to test the situation out, but just yesterday I was playing with Cloak and Dagger, which I'm gonna go ahead and move up to as well up here. I was playing Cloak and Dagger and I did her ultimate, and the moment I got her ultimate, when you put the healing and damage field on the ground, Hawkeye on the other team did a headshot completely wiped her out. Now, I wanted to test out to see if she's able to survive that, if she have the healing field down on top of the ultimate that she does, but that needs to be tested. But yeah, Hawkeye hits pretty hard, long range shooter, sharpshooter. If you got the dexterity and skill for it, he's a good pick. He's a good pick on the team. Cloak and Dagger, amazing heal. If you haven't seen the video, there is a video online to where she's able to stay in her healing field and pretty much absorb 2 hits, I think 2 or 3 ultimates from Punisher, which is really crazy. So that just shows how strong her survivability is with her ultimate. Only thing with her is I hope as the time goes on, people start to get more familiarized with other characters' abilities. Because when you play Cloak and Dagger, for some reason, I noticed that when as a Cloak player, when you're playing Dagger and you throw out that healing aura field, sometimes the teammates don't go inside of it for them to heal it. So it's so many times I'm playing that character, I'm watching other people play it, and they throw down the healing field and the teammates are like avoiding. I'm just like, dude, if you step inside of it, you're gonna get healed. Or like with her ability to do to go into cloak form, and he does the invisible cave, which makes your team invisible to avoid, you're visible. So you can avoid like Jeff the Shark ultimate, you can avoid pretty much any attack. However, in order for you to be able to get that visibility, you can't shoot or reloading. So it's a really good ability that Cloak and Dagger has, but your teammates have to be familiarized with that person kit, for Cloak and Dagger kit. But hopefully, as over time, people get more, as I mentioned, aware of that. Captain America, just touch back on him. Super dope character. He's able to flank. He does decent damage. The shield could be a little bit more durable, but I do like Captain America is fun to play. I would say that, like, Captain America, I feel like when I'm playing Captain America, I'm pretty much playing Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, it is a really fun character, just get behind the enemy line, which is really cool. I kind of want to play some hard because of his mobility, his ability to be able to get behind a team, get in like he's sort of like a dive tank, and then get out. I think he's really good, but he just the damage output for me. Where is Hawk? I think Hawk is the exact same way. The thing with Hawk is when he's in Hawk form or his other powered up form, he's really strong. But when he's in Bruce Banner form, he's just squishy, bro. He's just super squishy. But other than that, the gamma shield that he provides is pretty strong. I do like Hawk a lot. Almost want to put him A, but for the most part, I think he's B because of that Bruce Banner base form. Next, we're gonna go ahead and just move up like 3 characters real quick. Let's speed run this. Star-Lord, Spider-Man, Moon Knight. Star-Lord is really good. His ultimate is really good because it tracks is pretty much like Soldier in Overwatch. The fact that he can do it while in the air is awesome as well. He is like another one of those mosquito annoying characters that just buzzing around. Same thing with Spider-Man. They all have that sort of effect to where I'm changing the music. I'm gonna do another speed run pick. Black Panther, Iron Fist, Namora, and I don't know where to put Rocket at, but I could put Punisher up here too. I'm also gonna put Punisher S in Marvel tier. Black Panther is also really strong as well. He's like another sort of Genji, similar to like Psylocke in the game, to where his ability to flank damage and health is actually pretty good. I think he's on the only duelist that have 300 health. I could be wrong, or I could be right, but for the most part, when he drops those vibranium spears to put the marker on you, does a slash move to reset the slash itself because the marker's on the character, and it's also pretty good as well. Is that he has to get in, but he's really good. Moon Knight shreds as well. One of those characters when he puts those anks down, for whatever reason, similar to like Cloak and Dagger. So I guess people are not familiar with the character kit just yet. It's really good because of the radius it covers, but when you open space, it's kind of harder to hit. Iron Fist. In the beginning, I feel like at a certain point, it was like Iron Fist is the best character in the game. But as time goes on, as I'm playing more rank and playing more casual matches, you do realize that, you know, he's a lot more easier to deal with than we may have thought. Namora, same thing. Namora just kind of like, every time I see, when I think about Namora, I'm just like, okay, this random freaking whatever his ult is, just came out the ground, and that's about it. Sometimes you see those little octopus doing damage for good crowd control, but for the most part, final speed run on this, low key. Boom, Magneto. Boom, Penny Parker. See that? Rocket. Squirrel Girl. Thor. And Venom. Just to finish all up. All right, speed run. Squirrel Girl is pretty good. She's almost kind of similar to Junkrat, but not really. Her ultimate is pretty good in like close corner situations, but can be pretty much avoided. But she's not really like a threat compared to these characters. Loki doesn't really do as much healing compared to other healers on the team, even though he can cover a large radius when he has a clone down. But sometimes, you know what? I think Loki's like A. Because sometimes you get like a really good Loki. The ones that can know how to place the clones on the map, and also to pick the right sort of enemy to clone is to use their ult. It can change the tide sometimes. It can really change the tide. Thor is a really good sort of tank that if he is on a team, he could definitely 1v1 a lot of duelists or other characters. He hits pretty hard. Same thing with Venom and Penny Parker. Her kit is good, but she doesn't really have a dedicated shield. So you have to be able to place like that little portal or the little pod that send out the little mini traps inside spaces to where it doesn't get destroyed, for her to be able to get the movement speed buff and the buffs that the net gives. He's more so utility, like being able to get that revive back is pretty good. That way your teammates can get back in the fight, especially with supporting tanks, to hold off like a little bit longer while the rest of the team regroups. But his healing, you know, and his damage is not as good compared to, say, Luna or Mantis. But who else? Magneto. I like Magneto a lot. Similar situations to other characters, to where whenever he has Scarlet on the team, he become pretty much a better character. He's up here. He becomes Marvel tier. But without Scarlet, he's pretty much A. And the thing with that is like having Scarlet on the team as a duelist compared to, say, you know, the characters that can do burst damage, would be a lot better, because it's a lot harder to heal burst damage compared to healing, you know, just damage that just doesn't have any sort of burst element to it. But for the most part, I believe that was a good speed run video. I think I'll talk about Punisher just in case I didn't. Pretty good, does high damage. It's also too just one of those characters, can be in the back line really strong. It's also pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like, that's pretty much, this is my opinion on how I'm kind of currently looking at the game and his characters. And again, just because these characters are Marvel tier below down here doesn't mean they don't have their use, because the team abilities can dramatically change the team. It doesn't mean don't necessarily play these characters, you know. Just this is my personal take on it. But with that also being said, I do want to say this game is amazing. It's fun. Every character is pretty much viable. I like to see where we are within the next like 2-3 months, even, because we're already getting like new modes added to the game, costumes. Can't wait to see other characters get added to the game. I might make a list of just the characters I would personally like to see added to the game. I know, you know, Blade on that list. For me personally, I'd love to see Blade, but also too, just like random characters like Doorman. Yeah, I love to see characters like that. But yeah, again, if you do like this video, if you have any thoughts on just the listing and the ranking of these characters I have on my tier list, make sure you leave a comment below. I'm kind of curious to hear, you know, anybody else's perspective on the tier list itself and where they would kind of like move characters on the list and why, you know, because maybe it's some things I could be overlooking. But other than that, I'm out. Again, I have more content coming soon, but hope everybody have a good rest of their day.